Johnny, can you tell us the format for the education of the course?
The education life for the Feta players basically starts in a pre-season course. It's a vocational employability course, which is a good transition for the lads that have just left school, getting into understanding what higher education is about and before they start with academy life. You get some small qualifications in vocational areas, work skills, employability that can be used on their CV, in their football and CV, in their education and work CVs. But generally the importance of it is getting the transition from school into college, which sort of meets the expectations and demands of what we require here at FETA.
Right, Paul, obviously lads who've come in this pre-season, can you just tell us the standard education, how lads are doing so far?
Yeah, I've been speaking to a lot of coaches about this. I've been really impressed so far. The guys seem really sort of focused on the work and really engaged in what's going on. I think a lot of that comes from the way that the coaching has been done outside as well. It's very sort of kind of regimented. People know exactly what's expected of them. They know that they're here for a serious education course as well as the prospect of playing in very high quality leagues as well. So I think that's kind of what we've got even from the start. We've got into that mode of this is what's expected, and the guys have really taken that on board straight away. And I've been really impressed with all the work I've seen.
Can you tell us what happens if a student falls behind in their education?
Education at FETA, as we instill from the start, is paramount. That's the reason why they're here, to get an education. So that is our number one priority. The football is a bonus for them. You know, they have a very structured and very proactive football calendar, but the football comes as a reward for achieving in their education. And if any learner is behind or is absent or has a bad attitude in class, or just is generally struggling in their classroom, then we will take the football away from them just so we can help them achieve and get through. We don't want any learners to be a few months down the line and be behind on units and not be able to achieve unit accreditation because they've had too much football. So our tutors work very closely, our pastoral staff work very closely, our welfare staff work very closely with each player to make sure they're up to date, and the tutors and the coaches work together to make sure that both football and education balance out.
Can you please give us a timetable of a normal week?
The typical timetable for a student at FETA, the course is a full-time course, so they are required to be with the FETA environment for Monday to Friday. The timetable is made up of education slots and football training slots and match day experiences. The education meets the 12 to 15 hours a week of education time and also covers approximately sort of 12 to 15 hours of the football activity also. In the week, there is an element of expected learners to do independent study. Everything that is taught on site will get the learners to achieve at a past minimum level, but generally for that learner to go the extra mile, they have to sort of put the effort in themselves in their own time. When they're on the course, we actually have at least once every term a parents' night where they come down and they see where their child's up to, what the grades are, are they meeting the target grades, what's their attendance like, their punctuality, their attitude, all elements that are important in order for them to achieve on the programme. And that communication and contact time for FETA staff and parents and FETA staff and players and parents is important that it's all brought together so it's not separate and it gets lost really. So it's really important to us, parental contact time, and we're always at the end of a phone or an email if the parents got any questions to fire at us.